it is Brooke. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. So I have some really exciting news. I created a podcast and I'm super excited about it. So I just kind of wanted to jump on here and tell you guys about that. That's kind of why I haven't posted in like 3 or 4 days. But I have the first video. It'll be right after I stop talking. But basically it tells you all about who I am, what my podcast will be about, what you guys should expect. My DMs are open at Brooke Potvin and on Instagram to tell me what you guys want to hear more podcasts about. Definitely DM me on there. It will be super helpful for me. I hope you guys enjoy. Definitely let me know what you thought down below. Keep it nice because I'm a baby. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy and the podcast episode will start now.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Alive Aura podcast. In today's video, you guys are basically just going to meet me. My name is Brooke Potvin, and I basically just wanted to tell you guys all about why I started a podcast, who I am, and everything like that. And I know this will be better in the long run to better understand me, like when you're listening to episodes and everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's just get into the episode. So obviously the first thing I kind of just want to touch base on is who I am. So like I said, my name is Brooke Potvin, and I'm going to be a senior in the upcoming fall. So like this year, I'm going to be a senior in high school. So pretty young, I think, for starting a podcast. I don't really know that many people with a podcast my age, which I think is honestly super cool, and I really look up to the teenagers that have started a podcast. They've like really inspired me to start one as well. Also, another big thing about me is that I have a YouTube channel. I'm on the smaller side, of course, but basically it has really inspired me to get further into like social media. I've always wanted to have a YouTube channel ever since I was little, and I just never had the guts to have one. And then I finally, during quarantine, had the guts to just put up my first video, and it's honestly worked really well for me, and it has made me super happy. I feel like I've found something that like is truly what I love doing, and I feel like kids my age, like they have sports or like singing or something like that, and they just like never really fit into one of those groups. So YouTube, I feel like, has like finally been my place of something that like I really like doing. Another like aspect of wanting to start this podcast is because I go to a tech program, high school, whatever it's called, vocational, I have literally no idea what it's called, but they have a marketing program, and I've been doing the marketing program, so this will be my 4th year, so I've been doing it since freshman year. And through that, I've like really found a passion for marketing and all of that. And with YouTube, like you obviously have to do like digital marketing, like social media marketing. And I think like through school, like learning that, it has been such a big aspect of my YouTube channel and helping it grow. I just like better understand it, I feel like, through taking those marketing classes. So my YouTube channel isn't necessarily so much on marketing and like business and everything like that. It's more kind of just like girly, daily like lifestyle. So I kind of wanted to put that marketing and business side of me into my podcast, not so much my YouTube, because I feel like that isn't necessarily like the group for it. So yeah, I think that putting more of my marketing and business passion or whatever it is in this podcast just makes a lot more sense than if I were to put it into my videos, because, you know, like I said, just not the necessary market for it. So yeah, that is basically who I am, and I'm really excited to see who's listening to this, get to know you guys, and yeah, I'm like really excited. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is why did I start this podcast, kind of like my inspiration behind it. So the first thing, like I said, is the marketing aspect. I just have an extreme passion for it and like business and all of that, and I actually surprisingly am working on making my own product, which is kind of a big deal. It's not like an invention or anything, but it is just something that I really am passionate about and I really want to make. And I thought that it would be really interesting to share this on this podcast, my whole like story through it, kind of like the timeline, like what I'm doing. And I think it's great because like I haven't even like made it yet, so you guys are gonna kind of know the ups and downs of all of that. So yeah, the only thing I have right now is kind of like the design of it, and I have that like all done, but there's no physical products yet. So I think it's gonna be exciting for you guys to kind of hear the in and outs about that, kind of what I'm doing, how like marketing it, like the social media behind it and everything like that. So yeah, that's like the first thing. The next thing is YouTube. YouTube itself has made me so like inspired and like absolutely just like fall in love with like social media. So I think that passion has made me want to just kind of come out to other platforms and just grow a bigger social media like brand and everything. So I thought, why not start a podcast? And then the next one, which is one of the biggest ones, is Natalie Barbu herself. Her podcast, The Real Real, has inspired me so much. I absolutely love her. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Natalie Barbu has a Patreon, and it's like $6 a month, I think, which I have, and it's helped me so much with like social media marketing and everything that kind of falls into that. So I was on one of her live streams, actually. She does like 2 a month in there. You just kind of ask her questions and she like goes through all of it, which is actually super helpful. So one of the questions I asked was, do I wait to start a podcast until I have a higher following, or do I kind of just go for it and start one? And her advice was basically, why would you ever wait? Literally just go for it, do it. And like the main thing is like, if I blew up, like in quotes, like blew up in one platform, like my other platform would grow. And in like no way am I doing this just to like blow up. Like I have an extreme passion for podcasts. I listen to them all the time. But she like really did make me realize that like you don't have to do stuff just because you have a huge following. Like you're not allowed to do things because you don't have a million followers. So my biggest advice for you, I'm already starting with the advice, oh god, but I would basically just say go for it, like whatever you want to do. Like if you're listening to this and you want to start a YouTube channel, like I would literally just say do it. Like one wish, I think if I had to grant one wish in my whole life, it would be to start a YouTube channel when I was younger and not this year, because I just can't even imagine how much like happiness it would bring me. Like I'm a super happy person, always been like, you know what I mean? But I just know that I would be like, oh my god, like this is literally like my forte. Like, so I just kind of wish I started a YouTube channel earlier. So I'm telling you that you need to do it. Whatever you're like stopping or thinking like you're not good enough, you don't have enough following, like anything in general. It could be a sports team, anything. Literally just do it, because you're going to feel so much better and you're going to think, why didn't I just do this earlier? So the next thing is, I absolutely adore talking. I love having conversations, discussions with people, debates, everything like that. I just love talking. I love like talking about my experiences. So yeah, that is another thing why I started this podcast. And I feel like on my YouTube channel, my subscribers are more interested into like the rough cut, super edited, a bunch of edits, super entertaining, not much chatting, like just kind of straight to the point, like 8-minute video on YouTube. And of course I could make any video I wanted to make, and I do, but I just think that my audience isn't necessarily that interested in super long, chatty marketing, business, stuff like that, like those types of videos. And I think it's great because my YouTube channel is with like a small following, it's honestly really good, and you want to try to take advantage of that because you can experiment and try different things, and it's not going to cost you as much as if you had a super big following. So the next reason is more connections. I love connecting with people that have like similar interests. Like I created a big YouTube, Snapchat, group chat. Oh my god, that was like a bunch of words. But it's basically just a bunch of small YouTubers, kind of just like me, that make the same types of videos with me. And like I want to do that with podcasts. Like I absolutely just love connecting with people on social media, and like you can really find people that are just like you, and it's crazy because like they live all around the world. Like there's two girls in I think there's 2 or 3 girls in the group chat that are literally from like England, and like that's like on the other side of the world for me. I think I'm not good at geography, so yeah, so that is kind of just the couple reasons why I started this podcast. I just love talking, love marketing, YouTube, Natalie Barbu, all of that. So that's definitely the passion behind this, and I'm super passionate about it. I literally have listened to podcasts, I think now probably for 5 years. I'm like super into them. I think they just make you feel super motivated, and they feel like you're talking to like a friend, and I kind of just want like my podcast to be one where you just feel like you're talking to like your bestie about something. I don't want it to be like, oh my god, like you have to do this to be productive. Like I don't want it to be that type of podcast. I kind of just want it to be like I'm sharing my life with you, and I just want you to feel like you're hanging out with like your older sister or your younger sister or whatever. So that is kind of what I want the podcast to feel like for you guys. I also kind of want it to be, of course, inspiring and everything like that. Alive aura just means to be alive, like be present, just have like an opening aura, positive energy, like all of that like stuff, I love it. So that's kind of, why it's called the Alive Aura podcast, because I kind of just want you guys to be present and, inspire you to just be alive, do what you have to do, like do what you want to do, just do it. So yeah, that's kind of the story behind the name. It was so funny because me and my mom, I go to work with my mom sometimes in Boston. And sorry, my dog just barked. I go to work with her sometimes in Boston, and we were trying to think of a name. And this is actually going to be the name of like my little business, my little product thing, which I'm really excited about. So me and my mom were just sitting like at our desk at work, and we were like, what could be the name? And like we were just like, I was looking up like aesthetic words, and literally the first one I say is Alive Aura. And she's like, like, I don't know. So we come up with a bunch more, and I'm like, no, Mom, like, it's Alive Aura. Like, I know it is. Like, that's what I want it to be. And she was like, yeah. Like, so, yeah, that's kind of how the name became. It's so funny to me that it was the first one I said. I think that's kind of just, like, destiny. So, yeah, that's how I got the name of this. I'm obsessed with that. I don't know how no one has this. I've, like, looked it up on podcasts, and I've looked it up on, like, Instagram and everything. I have no idea how that has not become like a business name or something, because I just think it's so cool. So yeah, that's the name. The next thing I want to talk about is what will be on the podcast, like what you guys should expect. I don't want to give myself necessarily a straight like box or anything like that. I kind of just, want to do what I feel like sometimes, and sometimes like, it will definitely be different than others, but you'll be able to, of course, tell by like the title and everything. But the first one, of course, is like what I've been saying the whole time, is like marketing, business and stuff like that, like beginning like a product, like social media marketing, what's helped me with my YouTube channel. And of course, I'm not an expert like literally at all. It's just my experience. Like I don't have a degree in this. I just take a class in high school about marketing. But yeah, it's basically just from my own experience, what's worked with me through YouTube and everything, like Instagram and stuff like that. So some marketing aspects, and then personal stories, like personal experiences, like advice, anything that I've been through that I think would help somebody else, or what like I wish I could have been told like through certain scenarios, and I think that will be super helpful, especially to like the teen audience that's watching this. Just something that I went through that like I could have prevented or just could have made a better decision or something like that. The next one is kind of strategies and stuff like that. Kind of strategies for like social media, like my YouTube, like what has worked for me, what's like not worked, like what I wish I could have done differently through YouTube and stuff like that. Another thing that I really want to focus on while I'm still a teenager, I'm 17 years old, I want to interview a lot of teens that have kind of like made a change, that have made their own business, that have like a good YouTube channel, not like a good, you know what I'm saying, like just have a YouTube channel. So I really want to do a lot of interviews with them. Like I want to ask my YouTube friends to do interviews with them about their YouTube channel, and then like what's worked for them, what's not worked for them, because I've just like noticed with YouTube the algorithm's so difficult that so many different things work for different people. So I want to give you guys like a bunch of different perspectives on that. So yeah, I'm like really interested in interviewing teens. I'm going to reach out to a bunch and line up a lot, but there will still be a lot of solo episodes. Probably for the first couple, they'll just be mainly solo episodes while I kind of just get into the swing of things, get more comfortable like recording with like this mic and, you know, the whole setup. So the next thing is kind of, I also talked about this earlier, just like the business build-up journey, and then also like advice, my life as a teenager, ups and downs I've been through, like society, how society looks at social media, also kind of how you can use social media, like the positive aspects of social media, not so much like the negative effects. And I know social media can be super negative and bring people down, but I kind of want to teach you guys kind of how I've turned social media into a really positive thing, because I feel like for a while it honestly was somewhat of a negative thing for me, and I think I really have learned how to use it to my advantage, and I really want to kind of share that information with you all like in the upcoming future. The next thing I want to post too much social media talk, but what I want to talk about is kind of time frame. So how much will I post, like when will I post, everything like that. So I think my plan is to post every Sunday at 11. This doesn't even count as a actual post, so I will be posting again at Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern time this Sunday, because it's Tuesday right now when this is being posted. But once a week, Sunday at 11 is my plan for posting. And you know what? We will kind of figure it out as we go. It won't be perfect, and I definitely know this isn't probably as amazing as the other podcasts you listen to, but you know, I'm trying and I will figure it out and kind of get more educated as I go. So the last thing I kind of want to talk about is who inspires me, like whose podcast will be similar to mine, just so you guys can get an idea. So of course, Natalie Barbu, the Real podcast, probably my favorite podcast right now. I love her. I love the podcast. I listen to every episode. Hers is like super business, like all that stuff. So really, really interested in that. And then the health code, it won't necessarily be so much like the health code. I'm honestly really not into that much to like fitness. I like health and everything, but it won't really be a main focus, but I just love them. The next one is Bitch Work. Sorry, I swore, but I really love that podcast. Super, super inspiring. And then the Gen Z Girl podcast, I definitely think this is one of the main ones. Mine will be like, I'm absolutely in love with that podcast. Also, Happy Hour with Gretchen. I love that one. It's super positive and just makes you feel like you're talking to like your bestie, which is definitely something I want this podcast to feel like. So I love the Rise and Conquer podcast. That one is super motivating. And then lastly, which is it definitely is My favorite podcast of all time is the Dream Achieve podcast. Unfortunately, she did stop doing podcast episodes, but I still listen to the old ones all the time. I think this is the best kind of description for what I want my podcast to be like. Definitely like the Dream Achieve podcast. You guys should definitely go listen to that. I know it's like discontinued or whatever, but I absolutely love it. So, the last thing, the upcoming video idea, I kind of want to do that at the end to just make you guys look forward to next week. So, at Sunday at 11 a.m., I will post how I grew 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in less than 3 months. My strategies, like the marketing I did behind it, what like really, really helped me, what was a waste of time, everything like that, all the in and outs. So that will be a super, super exciting video. Shoot. I am so used to making YouTube videos. That will definitely be a very fun episode to film. If you guys have any questions you want me to answer in that, you can always DM me on Instagram at Brooke Potvin. But yeah, I really hope you guys liked my first episode, and I hope this seems to be something you're really interested in, and I really hope to make it a fun and safe environment for all of you guys. Something to just get out of your head for a little bit is probably my main goal. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Definitely be sure to tune in Sunday at 11 a.m. Love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. I'll see you guys soon.